Caught Stealing is directed by Darren Aronofsky and stars Austin Butler. Burned out ex-baseball player Hank unexpectedly finds himself embroiled in a dangerous struggle for survival amidst the criminal underbelly of 1990s New York City. Going into Caught Stealing, I was actually pretty excited, mostly because I'm a fan of Darren Aronofsky as a filmmaker. Admittedly, I haven't seen a ton of his movies, but I'm a fan of the ones I have seen. Requiem for a Dream is not just a great film, it's an incredibly important one. I genuinely feel that movie is educational and there really is a message to be learned from it, and I love Mother. I know it was incredibly divisive, but I love how bold it was, and it really felt like Aronofsky was making the film he wanted to make without any pushback. Caught Stealing is definitely a different movie to other films directed by him. I've seen some people compare the tone of Caught Stealing to something like the tone of a Guy Ritchie movie, but I was excited because of him and the cast. You've got Austin Butler, Zoe Kravitz, Matt Smith. Unsurprisingly, Austin Butler is fantastic. Following on from The Bike Riders, I think this is only the second time we've seen him play the everyman, so to speak. Someone who is more grounded in their humanity, because as much as I love his performances in Elvis and Dune Part 2, he is playing larger than life figures, whereas here his character Hank feels like a guy you could just meet on the street. Austin Butler really makes him feel relatable and grounded. This really does just feel like a dude just trying to live his life. And what I also appreciate about his character is that this is a guy that gets kicked down, he gets bruised, he gets beat up. You never once feel like he's Vin Diesel in the Fast and Furious franchise. He doesn't get up from a fight and have no scratches or bruises. Also, the chemistry between Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz is off the walls. You really feel an intimate connection between the two. I also want to mention Matt Smith. This is the first time I've ever seen him do anything like this. He does play a fairly exaggerated character, but I loved what they did with him, and I loved what Matt Smith did with the character. He is genuinely a scene stealer. He's not in a ton of the movie, and honestly I'm glad about that, because if he was on screen more than he is, then he'd just take away from everything Austin Butler's doing. So they used him sparingly, and I think that was the best decision. In terms of tone, Darren Aronofsky definitely had a balancing act, because this movie can be really funny, but there are also definitely some darker elements to the story. He does a great job balancing these. They never conflict with one another, the comedy never undermines the darker moments, and it can go from comedy to darker moments and vice versa without feeling jarring. As I said, this is a very funny movie. I did not expect to laugh as much as I did. While I was laughing at everything Matt Smith was doing, and by the way, that's a compliment, the film wants you to do that. Austin Butler also gets to show off some comedic chops at times, which I really don't think we have seen him do. So my plea to any filmmaker out there, get Austin Butler in a straight up comedy. From a production perspective, this is a really well put together movie. The cinematography and production design especially really make you feel like you're in 1990s New York. There is a griminess to the whole thing. None of it ever feels lavish or exuberant. It really does feel grounded in reality, and they did a great job recreating that period. When it comes to my issues, I think my main one is that it can get overcomplicated. As you get further on into the film, you learn more about the lore of this world. And I did find in the second half this could get a bit convoluted. Information could come at you way too fast, and just generally the information isn't always clear. And because of that, I did lose a bit of interest in the story in the second half. Not to say it isn't still entertaining again because of the performances and Darren Aronofsky's direction, but I did find myself not as compelled with the actual story. I also wasn't big on what they did with Regina King's character. I won't give anything away, but I found her character to be overly cheesy. She did feel quite cartoonish, and also there are certain decisions made with her character that did make me roll my eyes a little. Overall, it's definitely got its issues, but I enjoyed Caught Stealing. I think Darren Aronofsky has found a good balance of making a movie that feels more commercial than usual, but at the same time, it still feels like a movie made by Darren Aronofsky. That is a hard balance to get right, so I commend him for that. I'm going to give Caught Stealing a B. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. You guys are awesome. Blu-ray Billy, logging off.